Check, check. Hello. Hello and welcome to the How to Hobby Podcast. I'm your host, John Power, and this is episode 150 of our show here. The How to Hobby Boys, once again, joining you and bringing you joys from behind the mahogany desk. I got my fearless co host next to me, as always, Shawnee B, joining me behind the keyboard, jotting down all the notes that we got to do to make this show just swim along perfectly. Sean, how was the weekend of speed?
It was a good weekend of speed. It was a good weekend. We're coming off Memorial Day weekend here in the US, and it was a weekend of speed because for the first time ever, I sat down and watched an Indy 500 race. I've never done that before, but
Never?
one of no, never in my life have I ever watched an Indy 500. But then one of my coworkers invited me and the guy I ride motorcycles with and said, "Hey, you guys want to come over, have burgers, have some chicken, have hot dogs, potato salad. We're going to sit and watch the Indy 500." I said, "Sure, I'm sold." So we we went and just had an awesome time. It was so much fun. And then after the Indy 500, the three of us went out, rode our motorcycles all over Northern California, the Elfin Forest. I got to ride a sport bike for the first time. So that was a huge, terrifyingly scary thing that I decided I was ready to do. But it was overall just such a fun weekend full of speed and just hanging with people, especially those people who you can do dangerous things safely with. Like if that makes sense. Riding motorcycles is dangerous, but being able to do it with these guys, knowing that they're safe, it just made it the best experience ever because I feel like I was truly, truly experiencing what it means to just hang out with friends.
That is awesome. Yeah, I think it's very important to be able to do dangerous things and be safe. So I'm glad you're doing that. But yeah, what a weekend. I mean, it was really cool. The Monaco Grand Prix also took place, so
We
it was
watched
a
a little bit of that too. We
true
watched the
week.
qualifiers.
Oh yeah, yeah. No, it was an exciting weekend. So, and we were actually out on the desert patrol. We did, believe it or not, Sean, 1,300 miles on the road. That's for a weekend. That's actually, I think, probably my max I've ever done.
That's a
Um,
lot,
yeah,
especially with kids. That's a lot.
yeah. It was no joke. First day was 7 hours in the car. We went out to Durango, started there, got a wonderful night ride. I'm gonna just say it, man. Colorado. Mm,
Oh,
chef's kiss. The cool, brisk mountain air, unbelievable. There was a bicycle race happening on Saturday, which was awesome, called the Iron Horse 50 or something. But it takes place every year, and I didn't even know that. So I've really been ticking off some things, and then we ended up in Moab, and believe it or not, Sean, I cannot believe this happened. Our tent actually broke. A tent
no.
pole.
Huh.
Yeah, it was such a bad windstorm that while we were out seeing some of the national parks, we came back, and this is the worst part. We came back to the campsite to a broken tent, which
Oh,
is a real morale boost or a bust, not
bummer.
boost. Yeah. Bust.
What did you do? Did you have any duct tape or anything you could use to
I
wrap it?
did have duct tape, but I went down. There was a local gear patrol.
Uh,
It broke at the joint. So I really needed something hard,
mhm.
a splint. And I knew that they made these splints because actually my Big Angus backpacking tent comes with a little splint just in case, again, this happens in the field. And so I went down there and got an MSR branded uh, splint, and you just slide it over where the break happens and then tape both sides. I already had the duct tape. Again, man, duct tape, it's like you need it.
You have to have it.
You have to have it. And
It's
I
a
think
non-negotiable. It's a non-negotiable. You have to have duct tape with you.
you shared it last week. You got it in your car. I had
Yep.
it in my first aid kit, thankfully, which was great. A nice, perfectly little rolled segment of it. I was like, this couldn't have gone any better. And yeah, only $11 at the store to fix it.
Nice.
And we were able to stay in the tent safely. So we all stayed safe, and that's an important part to take away from this weekend because you could. I actually saw a car on the way home that hit a barricade, and then he just left it on the side of the road.
Oh,
I don't think we can probably fill in the dots there. On, we came back Tuesday after Memorial Day, so something happened. That guy did not stay safe. That's unfortunate.
mm,
But Sean, let's invite the listeners in here. We got a really fun episode in store for 150. It's gonna be a great time. We hope you all had a wonderful Memorial Day or weekend in general. Maybe you didn't have the actual Memorial Day, but we still hope you had a wonderful weekend. Um, as always, welcome to the How to Hobby Lounge. We got the plushest seats in town, so sit yourself down and get ready for an experience here as we buckle ourselves in with a choice beverage for what we're calling hiking in 2025. Now, this is a very special moment for us because we started the show in 2021 with episode 1 of the How to Hobby podcast, not knowing that we'd even make it to 150 episodes. And we mentioned in the show specifically, we don't know how many episodes we're going to go, but you know what? We made it so far to 150, and I think we're not even close to the top. We hope you guys have enjoyed the experience. And if you're new here, welcome, because we got a lot more to share. But this is going to be a callback to 2021. We're going to be talking through how we've grown, and it's going to be a lot of fun. So, Sean, we're going to kind of walk through what we have in plan, which is we're going to start with why we love it, kind of the upgraded gear we use and love in 2025, and then things to avoid in hiking. But
yeah.
before we get into that, let's go through our social media, which everybody loves. That's been a part of our show joke is we're not that great at social media, but bear with us, listeners. We're really trying to do better. We do have a YouTube channel up and running, and this year that's been the turning over in the new leaf. We got regularly slated content coming out to the YouTube. So welcome if you are seeing it from the YouTube hub at How to Hobby Podcast on YouTube.com. We do have an Instagram as well, which is at How to Hobby Podcast. And for all business inquiries, that is How to Hobby Podcast at gmail.com. So without any more to say about social media, Sean, let's move into why we love hiking in 2025.
Let's do it. This is the section where I want to say, if you are new to the How to Hobby world, I encourage you, please go listen to episode 1 first, because we break down the very beginner world of hiking. You'll be able to hear the difference between John and I in the last 4 years. It's actually kind of crazy to go listen to. You'll be able to hear the story of how I literally used my mountain bike to run over my foot with the bike that was behind me. It was very funny. But
It's
please go listen to
it's a
that
gem.
episode. It's a gem. But the reason that we love hiking, that we've always loved hiking, and that we will always love hiking, is it's, in my opinion, in John's opinion, in the How to Hobbies opinion, the easiest and most simple hobby that you could possibly get into that will have long-term benefits for the rest of your life. And I'm not exaggerating when I say that. That is everything. You do not need much to get into hiking. Like we said in episode 1, there's really only 3 things you need. You need shoes, socks, and a water bottle. That's it. That's all you really need to get into hiking. And yes, there's so much upgraded gear, and we will definitely talk about the things that we love and we've grown with and developed in the last 4 years. But it's the simplest hobby you could possibly do. It literally is just going outside and walking for a while. That's all you have to do. And that's why we love it. It's why still to this day, it is probably the number one hobby that I do. I think John, it probably comes second to cycling, but that's because you do it every day to get to and from work. But I would say it is always at the top of our list of hobbies. If anyone asks me, hey, do you have any hobbies I should get into? Hey, what do you recommend that I should try? I start with hiking. Just go out and hike because it is so easy and is so beneficial for you. The number one benefit is that hiking is such a good stress reliever because it is a very low impact. So it's low impact to the joints. We're not running, we're not jumping up and down, we're not scaling walls, we're just walking. It's a very low impact way to go out and get really good stress relief. I read an amazing book. It was talking about I actually don't remember the title of it. He's talking about the beneficial act of being outside in nature, just smelling the breeze, hearing the birds, seeing the animals that are out there, and how beneficial it can be for you. It's such a good stress relief. It's one of the reasons I hike with no headphones.
Oh,
period, no matter what, unless I'm on a phone call, maybe. But I hike without headphones, period, because I want to be able to fully listen to everything that's happening around me. And it just, I feel just that stress just leave my body. Do you experience the same thing?
oh, thank you for bringing that up, Sean. This is one of those bonus moments. I The only hobby I actually actively use headphones on is when I'm in the gym. But
Hmm.
everything outside, never use headphones. Oh, okay. I will say jogging from time to time. I think jogging just is hard. It's just such like a mental. So
It
so
is.
having that cadence, that like beat that music provides, actually really helps. But no, when it comes to the natural, even cycling, I just feel like it's a safety thing. Hiking for sure, you're missing out. The moment you throw in any type of extra stimulation, you're not getting the benefit. You're not seizing it. And this is something that 100% you've got to experience this morning hike. I think that for me, like that's the crown jewel. Episode one for us will always be the one we pull out and we polish. I think for me, when it comes to hiking in general, I really love the experiences of being out first thing in the morning and seeing that sun crest the horizon. Like if you can get out there early in the morning and just kind of experience the world waking up in nature, man, there's nothing really quite like it. And you've capitalized on your day. And that's the biggest thing that I think if you can do it early, it's like, oh, I don't have to worry now about what I need to do. And for a lot of people, I think that's kind of it's almost like hobbying can be very stress relieving or really stress inducing. And if you're viewing it in this lens of constant, like it's a chain around my neck, like, gotta go to the gym today. That's not going to be the way that we really capitalize. And we didn't share this, but I think today, when I look back at episode one and where I've grown personally, it's been regarding this process where if I'm going to go do something active to be fit and grow, then I want it to be something that's stress relieving
Hmm.
and fun for me to do. I think we forget that there's got to be this aspect of just let's have fun. And today, it just seems like there's too much that what
We're
I
we're too distracted. We're too
yeah.
distracted now to really experience fun. I mean, if anyone who's around my age, so let's say late 20s, early 30s, and beyond, when you look back at your childhood and you remember having fun, you weren't distracted by the constant video games, the constant cell phone, the constant TV. It was usually being outside, doing stuff with friends outside, hiking in canyons or roaming through rivers or whatever it was. I did that a lot here in San Diego, whatever it was. I remember it was without devices. And I think that's the best part of the stress relieving of just going hiking, especially without headphones. Put the headphones down. You don't need to listen to music. You can survive with just your thoughts for a little bit. Just go out and just experience nature, experience the world around you and just see all that it has to offer because I promise being outside is way more interesting than being inside watching a TV show.
I couldn't agree more. And I think the thing that you really shared, harkening back again to the simplicity of the hobby, it goes without saying, you have clothes already on your back. Get yourself some shoes, socks, and a water bottle to go hiking. And that is going to be the most budget friendly thing you can do in 2025, hands down. Everything today is so expensive, whether it's a commitment of time or effort or attention. And I love that you brought that in, Sean. We're so distracted. This is a very intentional thing that naturally strips away all the distraction fog that so easily pollutes our mind. And you're going to be able to solve problems more naturally when you take the opportunity to engage with the hobby in a meaningful way. So, Sean, I mean, this is one of those things I know you used as an exercise hobby.
Yep.
Do you want to share a story related to, some of the ways you've grown since 2021 with this hobby?
Yes, it's actually 2020 is when the story is, but it was I went and visited a friend in Hawaii and did a hike while I was out there, and I hadn't hiked in a long time, and when I look back, I can see where hiking has really helped me grow in my just cardio and stamina with just being outside and walking around. But this was a hike on Oahu. It was stairs, literally stairs for probably 4-ish miles. I mean, it was just straight at the side of a mountain. It was old railroad tracks, and then you're walking up the steps for the railroad tracks. And
Is this Cocoa Head?
yeah, it is Cocoa Head. Yeah.
Okay.
Yeah, Cocoa Head. I couldn't remember the name of it, so I'm glad you knew that. See, I did that back then because a friend of mine lived in Oahu and we did Cocoa Head. And I remember I wanted to die most of that hike. Like I was I only made it to the top because my friend was guilt tripping me until we had to make it to the top before sunrise. Like that was the thing. We had to make it. I remember getting to the top and really loving the experience and seeing the sunrise, and it was a magical moment, but then having the thought of, oh my God, I have to walk down all of those steps to get back to the parking lot. But I love using hiking as just a low impact exercise. And what I learned now from that is I wouldn't do that again. I wouldn't just jump straight into Cocoa Head where I think I was going to die the whole time. I love just hiking around mission trails. Most of the trails are not too steep. And if they do have a little bit of rockiness, it's something you can take very slow. You can still cover a lot of ground, and if there is steep, it's steep for maybe 100 feet, and then it kind of mellows out. There's nothing crazy where you're just going straight up the side of a mountain for 6 hours, like I did when I was in the Paiute Pass when I did backpacking, which I mentioned in episode one. But it's just a fun, low impact. It's great exercise. It's great cardio. You get really good breath work because you're inevitably gonna go out of breath. I usually strive to hike at a speed just beyond where if I were to hold a conversation, I would have a hard time breathing. But
Yeah.
does that make sense? Because there's
Yeah.
like two rates. There's the I can walk and I can fully hold a conversation and remain not out of breath. I can stay in breath. I don't know if that's the right word, but I'm not getting out of breath by talking. I like to push it just a little bit beyond that, just to where if I were sitting with somebody having a conversation, I'd have to stop every now and go, that
Yeah.
right there is the prime cardio muscle building, fat burning speed of hiking. And I'm not talking running. I'm not saying go hard. Just a good hike is really, really good exercise.
Yeah, and understanding that about yourself too, because you're going to really grow over the years of doing this. And yeah, I think your experience shared there, Sean, of just being in your local community, finding the hike that's close to you. We did share that in episode one. This is such an opportunity for you to get to know a local trail system intimately. And we don't get to do things like that as often. The beauty of hiking is when you go to these preserved areas, they're going to remain the same. There is an attempt to keep them as a very natural place and to be able to ground yourself. And most other things are not preserved in the US. You go back to the same curb in San Diego 5 years ago, it's going to be definitely more battered and bruised. But the beauty of these natural preserves is people have a general sense of, I want to keep this safe for my children so that they can experience these things in the same way that I have and find joy. So yeah, great way to end it there, Sean. Let's move into upgraded gear we use and love in 2025. You did share that shoes, socks, and water bottle. That's like our key. We're assuming that you do have clothes on, listeners. Everybody should have some athletic clothing, whether it be when that Fabletic deal that got you that one time, or you don't need much. Just find that
You
brand
don't.
that I remember.
Literally all of my athletic gear comes from Walmart. It
Yeah.
was all as cheap as I could get because it's all I could afford at the time.
So we got a fun exercise. We are going to be talking through a rapid fire section here of brands we love in 2025. We're going to go back and forth. So Sean's going to start with the shoe brand that he's really digging, the sock brand, and the water bottle brand. We're going to kind of keep it going with two additional brands that were just kind of have piqued our interest throughout the years. So Sean, give me your shoe brand in 2025.
Hands down, straight up right now, it's Solomon. Solomon
Okay.
makes the best hiking shoes that I've ever worn. What about you?
For me, it's Ultra all the way.
Ultra, okay.
That
Because
has been.
you go with more of the running shoe, right? It's
Yep.
not it's not the official hiking boot.
No, I have pivoted since the Merrill Moabs
Yep.
that I started with in 2021. Still got them, but they're in a
Oh,
box somewhere.
you went
All
for
right,
the lighter one. For
that's
socks,
right.
for me, it's a Merino Tech. You can buy them on Amazon. That's actually where I found them. But I just love good old merino wool socks. I'm literally wearing them right now as we record this. They are my favorite. You can buy merino.tech on Amazon. They're 100% merino wool, no spandex. It's amazing.
Oh, we're on the Merino team. I am actually darn tough and smart wool is a tie
Oh,
for me.
I need to get Darn Tough. I need to get a pair of Darn Tough. Everyone keeps talking about it. I need to get a pair.
Well, it's that almighty guarantee. So
Yep.
it's they're made in Vermont and it's just quality. And I wore them. I'll tell you, man, something about having merino wool on your feet. I wore them the entire trip to Moab, and gosh, it's like wearing a cloud. It's unbelievable. I don't know. It's try it out, listeners. So give me your water bottle.
It's got to be a Hydro Flask, classic Hydro Flask, but it's the specific, no, excuse me, not Hydro Flask, it's Stanley. It's actually
Oh,
Stanley. I fell into the hardcore Stanley realm in the last couple of
okay.
years, so like the Stanley girlies. But it's the fact that Stanley has this wide brim, but then it has a just normal straw that you can suck through, but this huge wide handle that perfectly fits all four of my fingers. I have relatively big hands, but the Stanley with the wide mouth with the giant grip, that's I will never go back to another water bottle. It is the best water bottle I can ever ask for.
Ah, man, quality Stanley as always. So mine are, again, I have a tie for first. I'm actually going to cheat a little bit. The Camelback Crux has been my go-to since 2021. If I need a, well, now I live in the desert, listener, so I kind of have to expand on this. I always carry a minimum of a liter and a half of water, so I have to pretty much bring a bladder every time, and that is the Camelback Crux. Now, if I'm gonna go water bottle where I don't need a liter and a half plus, and I'm not in the desert, I Hydro Flask Be Free is my second pick there. That's if you're
Hmm.
not in a desert scenario and you just really need a liter at most. And the beauty of that is as you drink, the flask, it gets smaller and shrinks and you're carrying less weight. So it's a soft flask design. Not as hardcore as a Stanley, and definitely will not take a blow to the rock. But man, I still love them. And every time I bring them out, it's got a filter built into the mouthpiece, and
That's right.
that is the thing that always gets just hiked with some buddies this last 3 weeks ago out in the desert and was filtering water for buddies just right through the Be Free, and they were like, dude, it was a Marine I was talking to, and he goes, oh, I need one of those. What is that? That happens every time. I'm telling you, the Be Free, it's a crowd pleaser in 2025. Sean, what's a brand that's been on your radar in 2025?
So I've actually got a couple. The one that jumps to my mind right now, have you ever heard of the Avon sunscreen?
No.
Okay. Everyone here should look into this. It's the Avon Skin So Soft Bug Guard Plus. This is the coolest
Okay.
sunscreen I've ever had, but it is a mosquito repellent sunscreen that has the
Ooh,
bug mosquito repellent built into it. I get attacked by mosquitoes all the time. I wanted sunscreen for the tattoos I have on my legs, but the Avon Skin So Soft, you can buy it at Avon. I think you can buy it on Amazon. It is 30 SPF and has built-in bug repellent. It's not, DEET. We're not talking tick repellent, get everything off. But if you're just going hiking and you know there's going to be mosquitoes in the area, the Avon Skin So Soft is amazing sunscreen, protects really well, keeps your skin honestly soft, and it's a bug repellent built in. It's so cool.
that's awesome, Sean. No, thank you for sharing. I have not heard of that brand. We got to throw all these in the show notes for everybody. So
Yes.
do that as well. My top brand of 2025, or my first one, is actually uh, Patagonia.
Okay.
They really have stuck out to me. I have a few of their hiking related um, products for clothing, and the reason why I really at this point am digging the brand is not because you could call it Patagucci, and it is more expensive, but they really own the worn and renewed mentality. So if you actually get a hole in any of your clothing, you can send it to them and they will renew it for you.
Mm-hmm.
They have this all built in, and additionally, if you do want to get rid of it entirely, they will resell it for you on their used website.
No
So
way.
it is, yes, their Patagonia has a full used gear website where they give a second life to all of their gear that people donated and just said, I'm done.
Hmm.
I'm going to get a new one, and here you can go sell it on your website. And I
That's
just
cool.
love, for me, the conservation effort. And I'll finish off with my other top brand, Sean, so you can
Hmm.
shoot back. But it's actually Osprey. I have an Osprey backpack, and it's it's the Talon 22, and it's just been my rock solid. I think I bought this thing in 2022, ironically, and it's just been with me ever since. Biking, hiking, short backpacking trips, like day or even day and a half, you could get away, and even like road trips. Again, I brought it to Moab because
Hmm.
it's the bag I'm going to bring, and I'm going to take hiking. It has all the perfect. It's the perfect amount of space, and I think for people, it's 22 liters. Go figure. Talon 22, and people just really love it. But the reason why I'm such a fan of the brand is, one, because of the quality of the bag. Two, again, if that bag ever breaks, you can send it back. And I have friends that have
Hmm.
done this. They have sent it back to Osprey. My buddy had an entire zipper redone. So it's just great. Like, it's an almighty guarantee, and they stand behind it. And I heard, if you've ever listened to how I built this, there with Guy Raz. He interviews the owner or the founder of Patagonia. And it's just like, oh, okay. I see the ethos of this brand coming through and through. And there's a reason why it's so popular. At the end of the day, as much as you want to maybe clown on it when you can't afford it, which I was in that camp, Sean,
Uh-huh.
I could not afford it for so long. And then I just look for sales. I got this thing half off. It's lime green. It's ugly as can be, and I love it.
So I did that same thing with the only Patagonia thing I own actually was it's a down jacket, 100% down. And it was, I think, a $300 jacket that I got for $125 because it was on clearance, layaway, whatever
Yeah.
at REI. It had been shoved in a back corner of a carousel and nobody had seen it. And it happened to be this cool, actually, honestly, I like it. It's a cool burnt orange. It's the perfect size down jacket. I
Nice.
was I was 100% convinced I was walking out of REI buying nothing. I was like, REI did not get my money today. I'm not buying anything. And and then my friend Tyler goes, "Hey, weren't you looking for a jacket in a 2XL?" And I turn around and he pulls out this beautiful Patagonia burnt orange.
Oh,
And I'm like,
awesome.
"No, man, I didn't want you to find my size. I didn't want to spend $300 today." And he goes, "Dude, it's 125 bucks. It's on sale." I was like, "Throw it in the cart. It's mine right now." So that's the only Patagonia thing I have. I also am a huge fan of Osprey backpacks. Both of my backpacks, my day and my, I think it's a 70 liter, are Osprey backpacks. The other brand I was going to say, this isn't hiking exclusive, and this is definitely what I would consider Gucci gear, but it's an Insta360. Like
Oh,
it's getting the Insta360. I got it specifically for the motorcycle, but I took it when I went backpacking this last time. And the crazy views that you can get with that camera, the pictures you can take, there's something cool about being able to take those memories home with you and then be able to share them with others with the Insta360 or any other camera with this GoPro or not. But I would say that's another brand I love. They stand behind their equipment. They have so many accessories. I've called the tech line for support and they answered really quickly. That's an absolute killer brand that I love.
yeah. Awesome, man. Well, thanks for sharing. Why don't we talk through quickly some upgraded gear we've used and loved? That was kind of a rapid fire brand debate, more or less, on where we're at, State of the Union. But there's a couple that we really wanted to talk through, and that is, I have to say, Sean, REI for me has continued to be a place where I find quality gear at,
Hmm.
like you said, a reasonable rate. The REI specific products that I've purchased, notably a pair of running shorts and a pair of hiking shorts, have stood the test of time. Now they do kind of have sort of this dad look a little bit. But the thing is, I am a dad now, so I totally embrace it. I've just been impressed, right? It's um, it's been a really cool, and as I mentioned, I already said it in the brand rapid fire. My Osprey Talon 22 is by far the best backpack I've ever had from top to bottom, and even just the feel, like as it's aged, it really just seems like I put it on and man, it conforms to my. It's like, oh yeah, this is home. And I
Hmm.
don't know. I think it just has a lot to do with the way that he made his fabrics. You got to hear this how I built this because he goes through how Osprey, was the at the forefront, like the pioneer when it came to textile innovation. Because a lot of people didn't know how to do this lightweight fabric thing, and not only lightweight, but the breathability. So a lot of
Mm.
times you go lightweight, but it's still like when you sweat, it has nowhere to go, and so you get those. You know what I mean? Like back in the day, the JanSport's great, but you take it hiking and you're like, whoa, this thing does not breathe and can't handle it. And then my final upgraded piece I've been using in 2025. I think my first one I purchased in 2023 off of a YouTube recommendation is the Outdoor Research Echo Sun hoodie. It's about a $50 piece. But again, this is my continued, I guess, evolution as a hiker is I don't really like taking direct sun exposure
Hmm.
anymore, like in the heat of the day. I think it's just a if I can just use natural conduction through my and convection as I'm sweating, even with a high quality fabric over the top to keep the sun off you and not having to worry about is my sunscreen disappearing off my skin. And on top of it, it's like, man, I come home when you've run a day in full sunscreen, it's like,
You come home
oh,
so feeling so gross.
it's terrible. And if you're out there for like a multi-day, dude,
I
no.
know you feel so oily and just it's caked up and you can't shower. I hate that feeling too. That's why actually on my thing, it's a sunproof hat. Like I also hate the sun, especially with all my tattoos now. I do not want them to be hit by the sun. But when I was younger, I didn't want to wear a sunproof hat. I would just wear a ball cap because I didn't want to be that dorky guy wearing the wide brim sunproof hiking hat. You look like an absolute goober until you get really sunburned on your neck and ears because you decided to not be the smartest individual and just wore a ball cap and no sunscreen on your neck because I didn't want to feel oily and have, breakout acne or anything. So I got sunburned to high heaven. Now I wear sunproof hat. Honestly, it doesn't matter what brand, in my opinion. Just go out and get a sunproof hat, but make sure it says sunproof. It's not SPF, it's SPL. There's a different acronym for when it's sunproof clothing. But
Oh,
just go
interesting.
out, yeah, go out and get sunproof clothing. I have a wide brim, more of a laid back Hawaiian style hat that I wear if I'm going to go out in the ocean. And then I have one that's meant for backpacking that's really, or hiking, it's really light, doesn't fly away, has a really good chin strap. I think that that's a non-negotiable for me is a sunproof hat. That was definitely an evolution that I got over my fear of looking like a dork because I'd rather look like a dork than get skin cancer, to be totally honest.
Yeah.
And then the other thing, and I've mentioned this on previous episodes, but this was the biggest upgrade I've ever made to my hiking period ever, without a doubt. No one can argue it, doesn't matter. My Vortex Nation binoculars because when you are hiking and to have the capability to be able to lift to the binoculars to your eyes and just see the world in a completely different way, to be able to watch the woodpecker in the tree 500 feet away as it's sitting there and you're watching it like it's 2 feet in front of you, you cannot experience life like you can through binoculars because the animals, the wildlife just stays more active when they're farther away. The amount of birds I've seen, the colors I've seen, the snakes I've seen, I mean, just everything that I've been able to experience, you will never be able to convince me that anything else I spent money on was a bigger change in my hiking and enjoying the outdoor world than my Vortex binoculars.
Definitely I need to join the nation. It's
You
it's
do.
it's it's on my list to do, and I haven't done it yet. But thank you for sharing. I love hearing you talk about it. I'm like, I could just see it. I was just in Moab, taking in all these wonderful things. We went up,
Hmm.
we saw the delicate arch, and just yeah, imagining that experience of, I think Canyonlands for me, the vastness, like the
Yes.
unbelievable amount of sheer wow. I've never seen anything go, but to be able to bring that closer, like it's
Hmm.
amazing panorama, but yeah, just to be able to and there's something kind of fun about it too. Like I remember as a kid having binoculars, it was always the best thing. Like when your dad had the
You feel
binoculars, you'd be
so
like,
cool.
yeah, I went telescopic. I'm a hawk. So anyway, yeah, thanks for great brands. Listeners, we hope you found some value there and please feel free to share your top brands of 2025. We want to start the community going here and hear what brands are really sticking out to you when it comes to gear. But Sean, let's dive into something a little bit more serious here. This is where we really pack the show to the brim. And this is where we're going to let you know things to avoid with your hiking in 2025. This is going to make or break your experience. Okay. So, the biggest thing we wanted to bring up again is please don't start too aggressively here. This is one of those things that can make or break your experience regarding any hobby, but specifically hiking. If you're not a hiker, don't go and listen to your buddy and do the 12 miles in one day for the first time you do it because you're going to come away from that experience feeling put out, unhappy, really grumpy, just to
And
be honest.
and you're never going to come back. You're never going to do it
That's
again
right.
because that one experience ruined it. And this is, we mentioned in the first episode that you can find easy hikes around you. There's really good book, there's really good resources. Go to your local nature visitor center, ask them for some of the easier low impact hikes to start with. I guarantee they'll give you dozens and dozens of trips that they'd recommend, stories they've heard. Oh, yeah, you should do this. Oh, do you have a problem with steps? Okay, you should avoid this. I guarantee they'll be able to provide all of that. Go find your local docent and look at the maps with them and find those trails. But yes, don't start too aggressively. Also, be very mindful in the aggressively. If you're going down now, it means you're gonna have to go up later. That's just the reality of the situation. So there's a trail near my house that I've so far only explored about a half a mile in because it is straight down, and all I know is I'm gonna have to walk right back up the farther I go down. And so I've only made it about a half mile because I go, yeah, I don't really want to walk all the way back up. This is as far as I want to walk back uphill. And you know, if I keep going down, it's just going to get worse. So know that if you're going down, you're going to eventually go up somewhere in the hike, and you don't want to set yourself up for failure and start too aggressively. The other one is always, always, always bring more water than you think you need. You do not want to be caught out without enough water. I mentioned a story in episode one that I've experienced it a couple of times since where I get a little cocky and I think, nah, I'm only going to be out for an hour. I'll be fine. I'll just leave the water in the car. I'll be back. And then you get out there and you realize, oh, there's something really cool I want to see. And then you venture over here. And then, oh, that's really cool I want to see. And you venture over here. And suddenly it's 2 hours. You're parched. You still have 3 miles to get back to the car. It's just not worth it. Just carry your water. Bring more than you need. If you don't want to physically carry it, bring a backpack, put the water in the backpack, whether it's a camelback or just put your hydro flask in the backpack. It doesn't matter. Bring more water than you need. Be very cautious about hiking at the heat time, high heat times of the day, the peak heat. I know this is huge for you out in the desert, John, where you're at now, which is something very different from episode one. In episode one, you were still living in San Diego, but now you live out in Phoenix, and it's a completely different environment out there. You have to be really careful about when you hike, how much water you're going to bring, the bringing enough calories, bringing snacks so you can bring your electrolytes up. You know, don't get in trouble and not bring enough water. And then another big thing, always know your route beforehand, or at an absolute minimum, have the capability to find a route quickly. Whether that's you have all trails, or you have Onyx, or you have Google Maps, whatever it is, make sure you always have offline maps. You always have a way to find a trail. At the minimum, at the max, the best case, know your trail ahead of time, know exactly where you're going to go. If you're going out for an all-day thing, I highly recommend letting a friend or family member know, hey, I'm going and doing this hike. I plan to be back around this time. If I'm not back by this time, can you please, maybe come looking for me or call the visitor center and say, hey, this person's supposed to be out there. They haven't contacted me, whatever it is. Always know your route beforehand. Share it if you can. We're not talking go out and buy a $400 Garmin so that you can message people. That's more for I think the backwoods folk that are going to be really going out and backpacking. This is just hiking. We're talking about your local city.
I don't even have one of those yet, listeners, and I've been out in
Yeah,
the backcountry a lot.
exactly. Like
Find
it's
a
not
friend that has one and it has
right,
fitted the
exactly.
bill.
It's like a boat. You don't want to buy a boat. You want to find a friend who owns a boat and then become friends with that guy so that you
That's
don't
right.
have to spend the money on the boat. It's the same with the Garmin. Yeah, always know your route beforehand. I actually got kind of screwed on this, even as I think a fairly experienced hiker. I got kind of messed on this within the last couple of months. I was invited last minute. Hey, do you want to go hiking this Saturday morning, 6 a.m. before it gets too hot? I'm like, cool. It's Friday night or it's Friday morning, I think. I'm like, cool. I spent no time researching where we're going to go. We just were going to Mission Trails. We decide morning of, let's try a hike we've never done before. I was like, cool. I've got all trails. We got a couple of miles in. We've got his dog with us, and we start realizing I don't think we're on the trail anymore. Like, I think we've deviated off trail. This doesn't feel like a trail. We're kind of crossing back and forth over a river. This doesn't feel right. I think we've gotten off trail. We're not lost, but it's like it doesn't quite feel right. And I was able to pull up all trails and realize we had actually missed a turn about a quarter mile back where we should have hooked left. And we just kept going straight, basically following the river and got kind of screwed a little bit. We had to hike all the way back and find our way out. We had done a little bit of bouldering. That was our first indication things had gotten a little out of hand. We're having to hop from boulder to boulder. And I'm like, this is not what we're supposed to be doing. This all trails said this would be an easy to moderate hike. There's no way they should be expecting us to boulder over here. That's when I realized we've gotten a little offhand. So it can happen even to people who think that they're super versed in the area, but never get caught outside without a route without you having routed beforehand.
I love it, Sean. Yeah, this is a really important thing. Actually, all three of these are huge. And, as a family, we had an opportunity to really put these to the test recently. And when we took our trip to the Grand Canyon, the first thing you mentioned was, and this is the big one that people always forget. You're only halfway there when you get to your midway point, your quote unquote focal point of the day. And continuing to remember that as you're picking a point on a map, hey, I'm going to go down here. And in this case, for us as a family, we're going to do 3 miles down into the Grand Canyon. What I did not realize, Sean, was actually how on the moment of just picking it. I knew that it was going to be 3 miles. I knew where we were going to be going, but the elevation was the thing I didn't realize. And when I came back up and it had been 6 hours, everybody did really well, but it was 2,000 vertical feet.
Mm,
And I'm not going to lie, being the pack mule, I had all the water and the heavy water bottles and everything. I was in pain the next couple of days doing this hike. And now again, we embody the bring the water, right? Like I think I at any time had probably like a gallon of water or more on top on my back. Perfect call out to the Osprey for fronting the load. Most of the times, listeners, all I have in my pack is water. So Sean was talking about, if you don't want to bring the weight, I view this more as the opportunity to really see and build up your fitness. Because when you're out, I'll just say it right now. If you're out in the Southwest, even where Sean is in San Diego, you need to be able to have a lot of water at your disposal if you're going to be out for any amount of time over an hour.
yep.
It just starts to, I mean, they have statistics on it at this point. You can lose up to a liter of water in 3 hours, no problem, if you're sweating. I mean, that's just unbelievable. So, yeah, your sweat rate it's going, it's leaving. You don't realize it. You don't realize how fast it is, but it's quicker than you think.
Yep.
So keep yourself hydrated. Again, a huge one. And I think this is a great way to kind of end here with these three. Again, starting too aggressively is a big no-no. Not bringing enough water, oof, you could find yourself in the hospital easily. And not preparing your route, yeah, that's not a great idea. So get home safe. That's the big idea here. And be patient with yourselves as you're starting this new hobby in 2025. We wish you the best. We got one more. Sean, I'm really interested to know what you've learned this way before we shut down the show.
Yeah, so something I learned this week watching actually the Indy 500 and going to watching the Monaco qualifiers was just a humble reminder that you can be the best in the world at something, and it doesn't mean that you won't make a mistake. I mean, the amount of mistakes that were made at Indy 500 on that affected a lot of people of I just downshifted at the wrong time, tires went squirrely, boom, I'm in the sidewall, I clipped somebody else, we've both crashed. Now there's three people out of this race. In the Indy 500, the guy who coming into the pit, his tires slipped just a little bit and he hit the wall and then ran his whole pit crew over as he was trying to get
Jeez.
into. Yeah, I know. You should look at the videos. It's insane. Ran the pit crew over as he's trying to get into the pit. Or on the qualifier in Monaco, I don't remember his name. He was a younger driver, I think. These guys, one of the best guys in the world. They're racing in Monaco in F1 cars,
Was
and
it
he
Antonelli
is
for
Antonelli,
for
the guy that
Mercedes?
clipped the wall.
Yep,
Yes,
yep. He got too
just
aggressive.
just took like a half inch too far to the left, clipped the wall, totaled the vehicle, and now he's out of the race. Like you can be the best of the best, and you still make mistakes. And that was a lesson I learned to not be too hard on myself. Of if I make a mistake, it's okay. The best of the best in the world still make mistakes. I can too. That was my lesson this week.
I love it, Sean. And that's back to the ethos of our show in the beginning, which was take chances, make mistakes, right? You're never going to be able to
Yep.
grow if you don't take chances. Mine is another cool one here, or at least I hope it's cool, Sean. There was a team of people through a brand called Through Dark, which is a cutting edge technology, smaller brand, and they do high quality clothing options for expeditions in this case. And the really cool thing was they wanted to go out and set the quickest amount of time that's ever been done um, for climbing Mount Everest, for summiting Mount Everest. So
Hmm.
the typical time frame to summit Mount Everest is 8 to 10 weeks. These guys did it in 7 days, the entire trip. So days 1 and 2 was travel and getting up to base camp, and then they took that uh, literally like 3 days to summit push, and then only 2 more days to descend and recover. So I mean, it's just like what a great story. And again, I think in general, we'll put the link to this in the show notes, but it's a very cool again idea of hey, you probably shouldn't be doing something if you haven't done the preparation. They really tried to show that you can get high altitude ready at sea level and using, again, just natural higher mountains all in advance of going and doing this very hard thing on your body. And it seems like, again, it's even more efficient, not only from a conservation standpoint, you're using and generating less waste on the mountain, which is great, a huge hot topic, but you're able to get up and down and less of a toll on your body. So it's hard to say, right? If you're not ready for that, it's going to be a huge toll and you won't do it. But great story, and that's where we leave you this week. Again, Sean, thank you for joining me behind the desk as always. 150 episodes in, I can't believe it, man. This is a moment right here. And listeners, we hope you've enjoyed all 150 episodes. If you haven't, hey, go on back to episode 1. It's a great time. And let us know how you think the show has changed for the better and for the worse. That's what we really want to know. No, we everything's gotten better here, Sean. So this episode will be coming out at a regularly slated time, 6 a.m. Anything to say to listeners before we shut it down for the day?
Just to get out there, do it. Hiking is a really fun, really, especially if you bring other people with you. But something we didn't mention, things to avoid in hiking. You should always bring a friend. You should always bring a friend. I love hiking alone, but I also love hiking with a friend. Bring a friend out there, expose them to hiking as well. I promise it'll be some of the best memories that you're going to make.
Couldn't have said it better myself. All right, listeners, 6 a.m. Friday, every single week, this episode comes to your inbox. Set your reminders, follow the show, leave us a like if you enjoyed it. And until the next one, you know where to find us at the How
How
to
to
Hobby
Hobby
Podcast.
Podcast.